Have you ever heard of Faber-Castell gelatos? Faber-Castell gelatos are creamy pigment sticks. They are a versatile medium that you can use both dry and wet. It is water soluble. It means that you can blend and use it wet with water. There are many different ways that you can use your gelatos. You can use it directly into the paper. Because of its creamy consistency, you can smudge with your fingers with some blending tools, or my favorite is using a baby wipes to create that seamless gradient look. Faber-Castell gelatos are so versatile, and this is why I love using it in my journal. Hello there, my name is Leigh Ralston and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. Today's video is going to be all about my favorite Faber-Castell gelatos. I am going to swatch all of the warm colors that I currently own from 5 different sets, from the pastels, from brights, metallics, iridescent 1 and iridescent 2. So if you have been curious and been wanting to see what the colors of the gelatos are, then this video is going to be perfect for you. This is the part 1. We're going to swatch all the warm tones, and next week I will share with you all the cool tones that I have. Okay, so like what I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, the Faber-Castell gelatos is such a versatile medium. I mean, I remember seeing this in the stores probably 12, 13 years ago when I walked into a Michael's and I saw this set of gelatos and I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, they just look so pretty because, you know, it looks like lip glosses. And I was wondering, how do you use them? I mean, what is this for? Is it for scrapbooking? Is it for for art? Is it for mixed media? I mean, you know, so I was curious about them, but I never really had the chance to get to know the gelatos and play with them until just 6 years, 6 years ago now. And I have just fallen in love with just how versatile they are because, like what I said, you can use it dry. I mean, apply it directly into the paper just like this. And you can use it like an oil pastel. It is very creamy. I personally think, depending on the brand, I think the gelatos are creamier than, the oil pastel from the same brand, which is from Faber-Castell. I think they're much creamier, and I think they are smudgeable, honestly. And then what I really love about this is that when I discovered that you can use it in mixed media, if you blend, and dry the first layer, you can actually go back in and build up the colors if you would like, or even add more colors on top of the colors that you've already applied. And so that was really, really fun. And then I started playing with it using stencils, and then to create, I love using it when I'm creating very smooth gradient backgrounds, or just kind of the fear of the blank page, when it comes to mixed media. I just want to lay down some colors. And so that is where the gelatos would come in. I mean, I would just kind of lay down the colors, blend with it using, blending tools, or like what I said, my baby wipes. I love using baby wipes, or water brush. Any way you like to blend with water it's gonna work. One thing that I have learned, though, through the years is that if you are going to use the gelatos in different types of paper, sometimes it blends better than the others. Does that make sense? And I think it's the same with different mediums, it kind of like with different markers. Sometimes you get this very easy blend. Sometimes they stain because, like with art mediums, papers are not created equal. So look how pretty these are. And we didn't blend it or anything like that. This is just straight from the tube, right? It's so pretty. So one thing I've noticed is that sometimes you have to use gesso. You have to prep your page, and we're gonna test it here next. But this time, I just want to lay down some colors, and I want to show you how blendable the gelatos really are. So we're gonna start with a light color in here, and I'm just using my finger. I am actually dipping my finger in the water, and I'm just smudging everything and blending it. You can really, the colors, the pigments, they move so flawlessly. And this is without gesso, okay? So I'm using a watercolor paper in here. This one is just, the one from Canson. It's not an expensive watercolor paper, but I didn't see any marking or any staining like that. So I was really happy with that. And then this time I'm applying just kind of like a second color in here, and I'll start smudging and blending. And then we'll let the two colors meet and see how well they would blend. And I was pretty happy with the result because they blended really well. And then I figured, okay, how about we add a little bit of metallic in here? So I grabbed the gold champagne and, applied it here. And the same thing, I was just kind of like dipping my finger in the water and then moving the pigments. And I was just really amazed how well the pigments are moving. I mean, really. And then the sheen, that metallic finish is really, it's super obvious when it's wet. And I was wondering, will it still look like this when it dries? That was my question in my head. It's gonna like, is it still gonna look shiny and metallic when it dries? And we're gonna test that later. Okay, so for the next test that we're going to do, I want to show you how to use the gelato straight from the tube and then also directly into the paper. So this one, we just kind of like applied it directly into the paper, but instead of my fingers, I'm using some watercolor brush. I think this one is just like a flat brush, and I just kind of like really loaded it with water. And I wanted to see how well it will blend. And you're going to see later on that you can actually see the mark where we have applied the gelatos. I don't know if you can see it very well, but see that little square on top? That is the area where we have applied the gelatos. Then, if you didn't see there, I did use some gesso to prep the part on my right side, because I wanted to see how well the gelatos are going to blend, right? So I'm just letting it dry. While I'm letting it dry, I am picking up the gelato straight from the tube. So basically just kind of like using it like a watercolor, we're picking up the colors, the pigments straight from the tube. And I was surprised how vibrant and how opaque the colors are and how rich the colors. Now this time, this is the part where I have applied some gesso, and I want to see how well this will blend with water, and if we are still going to see the staining or, the area where we've actually laid down the gelatos. But I mean, just right away, I was mind blown of how rich the colors are. And we're using the same color here. Yeah, I'm using the same bubblegum color. And I mean, look at that. Look at the difference from without the gesso. And then the middle one is picked up straight from the tube. And this last here is with the gesso. I mean, just look at that. No, we cannot see where we've applied the gelatos. To the left, you can see that part where we have applied it. In the middle, slightly translucent, kind of like a watercolorish. On this one, it's almost like an acrylic because it's so rich and pigmented. And look at that shine from the metallic. It's still so shiny and shimmery. It's so beautiful. I mean, what do you guys think? I hope that this video was enough to convince you that you need some gelatos in your life. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope to see you next week for the part 2. Until next time, stay creative and happy.